All right, what's happening, everybody? It's Dr. Jeff McNairy down here at Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. Coming to you live with a ceremony going on right now, about 100 paces away from me. Got 75 guests up there doing plant medicine for their first time. Super exciting. And you guys that have been here before know what that first night's like. Tonight's Monday, so we have everybody's new to it. Today we're going to talk about setting intentions for plant medicine. But before I do that, just a little reminder that we're having a contest. Every week there's going to be a winner, and it's going to be all you got to do is get the book that Jerry wrote, and you got to do a hashtag shit the moon said and post it to your social media. And when you do that, then we will our marketing department will find that on the internet. And then we will award a winner every week. So here's an example of one of our alumni. What's up, Robert? That's how you do it right there. How's the shirt? Purge and merge. That's a Rythmia shirt right there. That's how you do it. You hashtag shit the moon said. And that's how you can win a free trip down here to Rythmia. So get the book. It's a really cool book, by the way. This is a great gift, Like, I'm always looking for good gifts to give to people because you're like, I'm not a great gift giver because I never know what anybody really wants, So this is a great gift to somebody. It's a quick read. It's easy to read. Just give it to them. Post this on the web. Too funny, man. So anyway, join our contest. Get down here to Rythmia for free. Every week we're picking a winner through April 1st. So it's really exciting. Okay, so what is this thing about setting intentions, for plant medicine? Like, what is that? Like, can I just drink the plant medicine and just chill? Well, you could, you actually could, but when you're focused and when you have a goal or you have a couple goals, the plant medicine will honor those intentions, and it will really help to plug you into yourself so you can get what you need out of the process here. And, I'm a big advocate for really quick therapy and really quick results. I don't like to have people drag out their self-awareness for years and decades. I like to have people get awareness quickly. I feel that these times, we're in an urgent sort of state as a world, as a global society. And I feel that like the urgency of getting to like who we are as people is really important. So having an intention is like really key. So, when people come here, about half the group usually have a list of intentions that they want to kind of figure out while they're at Rythmia. And that's cool. Like, we like that. The other half don't really know. They're like unsure, right? Because maybe they've never done that before. They're not exactly sure what it's about. So what we do as a company is we help people with their intentions, and we give them a class. We did it this morning at 9 a.m. with Jerry. It's called About Your Miracle. We help you set your intentions. Now, there's three sort of general themes. You guys have probably heard me talk about this before. There's three intentions that we have as a company that we believe that if you meet these three intentions, all of your other questions and all the other things that you're trying to figure out will be realized within these three sort of broad goals. The first one is show me who I've become. So we know that when people, when we unplug from ourselves to survive in the world, and we show the world a version of ourselves to try to like get through difficult situations, or if we have a history of trauma, we show the world a certain version of us that really isn't our authentic self. And as that is a theme in life, and as that progresses and goes on, it's really rough because eventually we become unaware of actually who we are anymore because we're living this like facade. So a big part of like the first intention that we have as a company is show me who I've become. And that's really key because you can say like, yeah, wow, that's not me. Like, I've told you guys before, like I was a big tough guy. I was a fighter. I was a guy who you wouldn't want to cross. That's not me. For those of you that know me, that is so That's ridiculous, right? I'm a nice guy. I'm super loving. I just want to get to know people. So like this mean, angry Jeff wasn't who I really was at my core. It's who I had become to survive and get through my life, right? In the environments I was raised in. So that's a big part of that's the first intention of Rythmia. The second intention is reunite me with my soul. So plug me back in, right? So if I'm detached, plug me back into myself and help me be centered and grounded and completely with me. And that is such a cool, amazing process, because that's where all the healing occurs. All of the intentions that we have get realized in that sort of goal. Reunite me with my soul. I can heal my body. I can heal my mind. I can get clarity on my life, right? It's a huge thing. I love the second intention, reunite me with my soul. That's a big deal. The third one is give me a new heart. So that's like starting off fresh, right? Starting off clear and clean and pure and moving forward in a way in that you're not like, downtrodden and upset. And, Jerry talks about it in his book, right? And this book right here, he says, his heart was black, like coal. It was just like so damaged, right? And he wanted a new heart. He wanted to start fresh and start like from a new place in his life. So the beauty of this plant medicine is it helps you do that. So if you see who you've become, you merge with your soul, you can get a new heart. You can start clean and start fresh and clear. And it's a really beautiful process. It's an amazing, amazing example. So Pam is texting me saying, can you please give examples? Sure. Let me give you an example. So let's say I've lived my entire life detached from who I am as a person. And, I fit into society to some degree. I have a job. I'm successful enough. I'm not raising red flags for people, but I'm kind of like I don't really feel grounded. I don't feel like I'm who I could be to be happy. I feel that my relationships are struggling. I feel that I'm not really plugged into my family. I have friends, but I'm not really, they know me or I know them really well, but they don't know me that well. I don't let anybody in. Okay, so what I've done in my life to kind of like get through and to avoid being hurt and to avoid being vulnerable is I've showed the world that like I'm strong, I'm capable, that I'm okay, that I don't need their help, and that everything's okay. And the reality is that's not the truth. Like I really just want to be loved and have happiness and feel peace, but I don't feel those things. Okay, so plant medicine helps me see that like what I'm presenting to the world is not the authentic me. And then what happens after that is that you get to merge back with yourself. And you get to say, okay, my physical self and my spiritual, or as I like to say for some people, my emotional self is totally united. So what that means is that I'm authentic and I'm really who I am as a person. And for people that have unresolved trauma, that's really, really hard. That's really hard because it's scary, because it means that like I'm vulnerable, right? But you have to remember that you're not vulnerable now. You were vulnerable a long time ago. When you were plugged into yourself and you were being abused or victimized or traumatized, you were vulnerable then. So you had to unplug to survive. But now you're not in a traumatic situation necessarily, so you can plug into yourself. You have to like get past that sort of irrational kind of state that says that like, what happened to you when you were 5 or 10 years old is now currently happening when you're 50 years old. It's just not, it's just not happening anymore. But the emotional sort of baggage from when you were a little kid is still influencing your life now. Okay. So then, again, I'm answering this question for Pam. Then once you've seen who you've become and you've plugged back into yourself and you feel grounded, but a little nervous, then you can move forward in your life in a meaningful way. You can move forward in a way that is authentic and has confidence. And that's where you need your new heart. And that new heart is symbolic, because what does it mean to have a new heart? Well, let's say that I've lived my entire life being a tough guy and fighting people and being aggressive and being angry and like, don't come near me, and I'll be aggressive towards you and I'll intimidate you. Well, my heart, right, through that process of 30, 40 years is a little bit, hurt and sort of like detached and a bit damaged. So what I need is, again, symbolically, is I need to have a new approach to my life. I need to like start off sort of clean and be like, you know what? I have a loving heart. I'm not an angry person. I want to connect with people. I don't want to push them away. So that's what that new heart means. So those are examples, right, in our sort of program that we offer at Rythmia of how you can do this. Now, I met with a client today who is an amazing client, and she's really scared. She's terrified. And the reason is because she's been working for like probably 20 years on how she can overcome her emotional fear and her trauma. She's done plant medicine probably 30 times before coming to Rythmia. It never really quite got to the point that she needed to kind of get the connection. She's done tons of self-help stuff. She's worked on herself. She's meditated. She's done all these things, but she didn't have the context of what was really needed to get grounded and move forward. And so what I love about Rythmia is that we're going to teach you guys how to do this in a really quick way that's appropriate for you, that's based on what you need. It's not going to force the issue. Even though a week is short, right? But that's all you need, because this is survival, okay? You've been surviving your whole life by being unplugged and being detached and just kind of like grinding through life. Okay, but now you've maxed yourself out, and you need to have clarity to continue to survive in a way that's appropriate for you. So the way to do that now, because you've kind of reached your limit, right? The way to do that is to clear out all the baggage, get rid of the baggage, and move forward in life in a way that is more free. And so the beauty of what we're doing down here, again, I always talk to you guys about this every Facebook Live, because it's such a crazy thing for me. Because I was trained in the Western medical model. I went to UCLA. I went to a private university for my doctorate. I ran UCLA's OBGYN department, family planning clinics. I worked for the Department of Health in Hawaii. I ran Passages Malibu, which is a rehab for 8 years in Malibu. It's a high-end rehab. I worked for a locked psychiatric unit in Pasadena. I had a practice where I was working individually. I was running groups. I was working with tons of people, 18 years, okay? I know what I'm talking about, all right, in healthcare. Healthcare for emotional situations is really hard to measure. And because of the scientific model that we're all in the world, if you can't measure something, it's hard to get the funding for it. It's hard to justify the means to get the outcomes. It's biased about oh, they say they're happy, but do they really mean they're happy? It's this crazy sort of dynamic that occurs in healthcare. And so I can speak from a place of experience when I say that the typical model to evolve emotionally, to evolve psychologically is something that takes so long to do. It takes forever. And you're supposed to trust this stranger. A therapist could be cool. You might like them after a while, but they're a stranger. They're not you. They're not living with you. They're not your partner. They're a therapist. You see them once a week, maybe for 45 minutes, okay? The key to happiness, the key to being grounded is to have your own intentions, to do the work yourself. You have the capability to do all of this healing yourself. You don't need somebody on the outside. You don't need some quote-unquote specialist, okay? People used to call me an addiction specialist, a trauma specialist, a adolescent specialist, you name it. Okay, why am I a specialist? Well, because I've worked with thousands of people, and I've studied this stuff for 18 years. You know what? I'm a specialist to myself only. I'm not a specialist to anybody. I'm not a specialist to anybody. You are your own specialist. You are. You have the power to heal yourself. Now, what's really cool about Rythmia and other places that provide this sort of support, which, let me think, I don't know any except for Rythmia. The beauty of having somebody like me here or these other clinicians that we have and having Jerry here is that we provide this safe environment for you to do the work yourself. So the clinicians are important to provide a safe setting and a safe context for you. But we're not here to do the work for you. We are not here to do that. I am not going to do your work for you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to root for you. I'm going to be your biggest fan. But I am not going to do your work because I can't do your work. I wish I could, actually. I'm a guy, I'm a nice dude. Like, I wish I could do your work for you, but I just can't do it. It's not possible. Just like no one can do the work for me. I have to do the work. I have to set my own intentions. I have to use the tools that I'm learning for myself to get past what I'm struggling with, right? So, the key to self-healing is to have your own intentions, work on these issues yourself, move forward in life in a way that is appropriate for you, because everybody is a unique individual. Science wants to group people into groups, you know, addicts and trauma victims and suicidal people and psychiatric people, these big groups. I'm telling you, every single person I ever met with in all those settings was a very unique individual who had a unique set of circumstances that had led them to where they were. So just like everybody in the world, you're unique, and you can do this work for yourself. Come to a place that believes in you. Come to a place that believes that you can do this. You know, I was so upset back in LA because the healthcare environments I was in were super negative. The clinicians, the doctors, the mental health workers, the nurses, all the staff had very little hope that their clients would change. Very little hope. And I don't understand how a so-called healing environment can actually be healing if people that work there don't believe in the process. It's just crazy. It's crazy, okay? So, come to a place that believes that you can get healed. Not only do we believe it, we know it. We've seen it. We see it every week. We know you can get healed. And so the vibe here is incredible. And some of you guys that have been here before, you can attest to this. I know I've seen your comments. You know, you guys are, you know, fully on board with this process. The vibe at Rythmia is super positive, super healing. It's actually a little weird because people get here, they're like, wait a minute, where am I? Am I at Disneyland? Everything's so happy. It's like, no, you're at a place that is here to support you and heal you in a loving way. And we know as clinicians and as staff that this is not going to be easy, so we're prepared to support you through those roughest times. And the intentions you set and the way you work with the plant medicine is going to dictate your level of success. And we know that in order to have success, you have to feel safe and you have to be able to go deep. And that's what we're set up for. We're set up for people to go deep. We're set up for people to have success. So I welcome you guys to come down here. I cannot wait to meet you. And I'm excited, you know, for all the things going on here. It's just crazy. Like I'm super, I have to pinch myself every week because Saturday, Sunday, the guests arrive, the new guests, and they have a ton of issues. I'm just like, oh wow, this is going to be a rough week. But you know what? It's not. It's not, because everybody does their own work and they feel safe and they can do it. And the guests that are leaving are so happy. It's changed their life. It's a beautiful thing to witness. So if you can't afford Rythmia, which is totally understandable for some of you, get this book, Shit the Moon Said by Jerry. Talks about all his process. I'm in here. It's pretty funny. You know, Jerry and I have a 10-year history working together. He was a madman when I met the guy. I'll tell you about that when you come down here. I'll tell you how that was. He was awesome. He's my brother. So hashtag Shit the Moon Said. Post it on your social media, and we'll see it. Our marketing department will see it, and we're going to pick a winner every week to come here for a free visit, for a free week stay through April 1st. All right, you guys. Pura vida from Dr. Jeff. See you guys soon.